The 7th anniversary of Dragon Ball Legends is right around the corner, and if the Dragon Ball Legends devs play it right, it could be the most stacked celebration in the game's history. Hey, Grimmy here, and today I'm diving into my top picks for who I think, and hope, will headline each part of Dragon Ball Legends' 7th anniversary. Just as a heads up, especially for everyone familiar with the channel, I'm not going to be asking for a like or for your sub at the end of the video anymore. Instead, I'll do my best to earn it with the content I bring to the table, specifically through this video. That being said, the units I bring up in this video are based on past massive celebrations, that way the possibilities I bring up will actually have ground to stand on. Let's just get right into it. First up, the missing fusions, fusing Super Gogeta and Vegito Blue. Fusion units have always been the best hype bringers in any Dragon Ball game, and the devs know this. Every anniversary features at least one fusion unit, and last year we got fusing Super Vegito and Gogeta Blue. They're the first two Synchro Gauge units to ever exist. So I guess technically first and second. Them releasing together obviously begs the question, where are fusing Super Gogeta and Vegito Blue, the counterparts to these characters, right? Because, you know, we obviously have Gogeta who's in Super Saiyan Blue, and we have Vegito who's just a regular Super Saiyan, whereas Vegito who is Super Saiyan Blue, and where's Gogeta who's just a regular Super Saiyan. That's basically what I'm trying to say here, and if they are to ever release, I'm absolutely sure that they'll drop on their own independent banners similar to Gogeta and Vegito who we already have here. The thing is that I can't really be certain about whether or not they'll drop on the same part, right? I'd imagine the devs really want to make the 7th anniversary special and different, so a 4-part anniversary, as opposed to the regular 3 parts we're accustomed to, wouldn't be too big of a surprise, and that would make the 2 missing fusions releases to be spread out across the first 2 parts as a possibility in that case. Though I wouldn't really like that. Last time they tried doing that would be the 4th anniversary, which was like 1 LF per part, and that was obviously really stale. It was a really boring anniversary, and arguably one of the worst in the game's history. So hopefully if they do decide to spread out these characters' releases, they have another companion characters to go with them, just to make sure that at least 2 LFs drop in a single part. And for their abilities though, specifically, I definitely want to see them restore their vanish when fusing, because that's one of the big weaknesses of fusing Super Vegito and fusing Gogeta Blue, this guy right here, obviously, is that when they fuse, they don't restore their vanishing gauge, so in certain situations, when you activate your synchro gauge animation, the enemy uses an attack, like whatever attack that may be, and you don't actually have the ability to dodge, and if you try to switch in with one of your other units, you won't actually have enough time to vanish. Right, so that's a big weakness. Obviously, that's supposed to balance these characters just to make sure that you have a window of attack, but at the same time, I think we are at a point where some characters can vanish to an annoying degree, and if the fusing characters can't really do it, other than their massive heal upon fusion, I think there's really there's no incentive to fuse when you're not in a safe position, right? So sometimes you fuse to stop time, to allow yourself to predict a lot of the enemy's attacks, but if you do it incorrectly, obviously, the opponent has a great opportunity of punishing you, and I think if they did restore their vanish on transformation, on fusion, for the other 2 fusions who we haven't seen yet, I think that would be great, and it would allow them to basically be able to make them a bit more dominant in matches. So yeah, that's something that I want to see from them. And hopefully they also have combo break nullification or abnormal condition nullification, specifically to counter paralysis from Majin Du and Majin Ku, because they're just really annoying, and just to make sure that they're a competitive unit in PvP. Right, because combo break nullification is also really strong. We've seen it with the other transforming Vegito Blue from base to blue. Obviously, I'm looking for one who transforms from Goku and Vegeta Super Saiyan Blue. Let's charge at full power. That guy, and you know, fusing into Vegito Blue. That's obviously what I'm aiming to, what I really want to see, right? When I'm talking about these 2 characters. And I definitely want to see both of those characters have combo break nullification, because I think it's really strong, and I do think that in the future, right, when they drop like other units, specifically ultras, they're probably going to have an auto counter at this point, so having a character with combo break nullification can really help them age, just moving forward, just to make sure that they continue to become competitive, even if more meta units drop as time goes on. This 7th anniversary doesn't just need to be big though. It needs to be a truly unique event that stands out compared to all past anniversaries. And that's why I think it's time for another game original tag LF to drop. The last one we ever got was Goku and Bardock from Legends Festival 2023. For this 7th anniversary, I think it could be anyone, from Frieza and Cooler to Super Saiyan 4, Daima, and GT Goku. Let me know in the comment section down below if you want to know my top picks for the new game original. I might just turn it into a video. The thing I want the most from a drop like that would be the devs reworking the limited rising banner format, which is the basically the banner where LF game original units are supposed to drop, right? This guy's banner, basically. It would be massive if the steps were reworked to at least not be as stingy as the format initially was with Goku and Bardock, because essentially the rate increase for the featured unit, that being Goku and Bardock, the rates were triple, which was really cool. I believe it was triple, but it was on a single rather than a multi. So obviously the odds of you actually pulling the character were way smaller, and the step format was just overall worse. Because I mean, like, you know, the format that we have right now for a lot of the important units, important LFs, they're really good steps, right? I think it's designed really well for a character like Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku, right? Those are really good banners. And the format for limited rising obviously really sucks. So if they're ever to drop another game original LF, I definitely want them to see. I want to see them rework a lot of that specific banner format there, because it's just negative on a lot of aspects, I suppose. I've actually got a short talking about that, you know, initially when it dropped, and you know, it's a pretty old video, and it's a solid piece of evidence to prove that that banner's format was trash, and everyone caught on from the moment it dropped. So I hope the devs fix the format before they ever try dropping another one ever again. Whoever the game original tag LF unit may be, I'm hoping they have a strong but balanced enough kit so that they don't break the meta while also aging well, allowing them to still be competitive post-anniversary, which is important considering how few game original unit drops have been thus far, right? It's not as frequent, so hopefully they last longer in the meta. You know, not like a character like Goku and Bardock, where, you know, their entire like lifespan in the meta basically started and ended before we ever got another game original unit who could help support the team. Now obviously every celebration also needs its Ultra, and I think we all know who to expect this year. I think Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku as an Ultra is the ideal finale for this anniversary, and I think you can all agree, especially because it's the 7th anniversary, so having a Universe 7 theme for the end is just really fitting. It's about time we got another Goku unit with this Ultra Instinct unique ability, right, with the unique gauge evasion and counter. It would also be dope for them to include an evasion mechanic similar to the recent Jackie Chun's after image with his green card, because I think it's a pretty unique mechanic, and it allows basically units who aren't ultras to have their own kind of auto effect, even though it may not always be an auto counter. Although for this ultra instant Goku, that rolls off the tongue there, super catchy. I think you would ideally make it an auto counter just to make him stronger, right? Because if it was just a regular dodge, I think it wouldn't really make him different from a character like MUI Goku. And by an auto counter, I mean one that you can actually combo with, not necessarily one that just does damage, because right now this Goku's raw damage counters can sometimes not hit, especially under disadvantageous element factor situations against element blue. Like, you know, obviously Goku is just completely not doing any, he's not doing any damage in that situation, let's be real here. Although if you were to take inspiration from Ultra UI Sign Goku, I definitely want to see them give Mastered UI Goku a second ult. I think it would be really dope, especially if they allowed you to chain ults with his counters and or auto evasion, right? So imagine, you know, you draw the ult, however you do that, you know, it doesn't really matter. And then you either pop the dodge with the unique gauge or pop the dodge with the green card after image, and then you could after image as in like a mechanic similar to Jackie Chun's after image, and then you'd be able to continue to chain it with his ult. Instead of it doing raw damage, you can just use your ult, and that being the main damage dealing point of you dodging or using your counter. To balance Goku, they would probably lower his defenses and make it so that sustaining his unique gauge while he's switched in requires a bit of extra mastery. And we've seen this before with past UI units. They definitely have lower defense, especially UI Sign Goku, the first ever LF. He was obviously weak defensively, but at the time, dodging with a unique gauge was something that was just completely unheard of. So that allowed him to be balanced while also having a really strong and almost overpowered mechanic. So hopefully, yeah, again, the devs do a good job of building on this solid foundation the game already has with designing Ultra Instinct Goku units. Separate from his unique gauge though, I also hope that they build him more for aggression, to punish the passive play that's been plaguing the game for a while now, right? Take this Goku as an example, where his gauge just drops really quickly, it depletes really quickly, but you can actually keep it going and keep it active and keep it almost full just by using cards. Right? By using cards, you actually restore a part of this guy's unique gauge, and that means that obviously, as long as you keep attacking, that means that you will have your dodge almost always available, which I think is just really strong. And at certain points where you kind of lose your unique gauge, it reaches 0%, you can actually get it back to almost full by simply performing a combo without, doing any additional steps, right? Just tapping all the cards, just hoping that the enemy doesn't use anything, doesn't cover change, doesn't auto counter. And I really like that, honestly. So requiring arts card usage to charge up Goku's unique gauge, even just to prevent it from depleting or get some of his basic effects, would be great to force people to play a bit more aggressively, a bit more actively, and not use that Ultra Instinct dodge as a crutch that ultimately has both players standing still doing nothing. With fusions and Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku most likely on the way, as well as hopefully another Game Original LF, not to mention all possible events and playable content, which would be a great source of Chrono Crystals, Legends 7th Anniversary has a really great chance of being the best celebration in the game's history. But who do you want to see for the 7th Anniversary? Let me know in the comment section down below, because if the anniversary does have 4 parts like I said before, I'm completely stumped if you asked me, who would be the units to fill in the slots that I couldn't quite fill in this video. So again, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you're interested in watching more of my content, check out my take on why I don't really like Ultra units as of right now. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this video. Bye, thanks for watching, never stay perfect, always get better. Peace.